the recommendations from the council recommends that we open up the Ogle County Jail. Can you see that this Ogle County Jail is going to be reopened on the basis of this report, and will it be done this week?
My comments there are that, in my opinion, there is no other temporary solution that we can hope to pursue except by a reopening of the jail immediately. Immediately means as fast as we're able to operate it as a contained unit.
Bomber series. The F-111 has fewer accidents than any of them. The difficulty is that every one of its accidents has been a front-page headline story across the country. One aircraft had 5 tragic accidents in 1 week last November, and it wasn't even mentioned. But I think the truth is going to come through. It has thus far. Senator McClellan, in spite of his determination to get the program canceled, has been unsuccessful. I appeared last week before the House Armed Services Committee. They were very receptive and I think are fully aware of its outstanding operational characteristics.
All of the construction, military construction in the Southwestern Division of Dallas has been concentrated here in the Fort Worth District. We will not know exactly how many employees will be making the move from Albuquerque. We expect next week for employees to be given their indication that they will make the move to Fort Worth. At that time, they will be coming here and being interviewed to be worked into the organization that we have here in the Fort Worth District.
Mr. Kraft, there appears to be somewhat of a difference in figures. Governor Cargo has said that there will be a number of people who will made at Albuquerque. Could you explain the little difference that we have here?
Well, the Albuquerque District performs civil works and military construction too. The civil works group, which amounts to about 300 employees, intends to stay there in the beginning. There was no question that they would be staying there. But it was a military function that they were moving from Albuquerque to Fort Worth, at which time we'd take over the military construction on 15 of the military Air Force and Army bases in the New Mexico, Oklahoma, and West Texas area.
Joe, how does the Lighthouse for Teens help the troubled teenager?
We meet them on the street, or we go to the jail, or we make contact with the family. We try to reach them to offer them any assistance that we can, whether it be advice or of a spiritual nature, or whether it be just to help them get out of jail and get back into the school system. And to continue their education, or whatever the need is, we try to meet that need.
Well, I was out on the streets a couple of days before Christmas, just standing around, and I'd been in trouble with the law on an auto theft, and they'd let me out for Christmas. They told me to turn myself back in Saturday, day after Christmas, and a Mr. Minor and another young man walked by, and they handed out a tract, and we asked him, jokingly, what's this for? And he turned around and they explained, took our names. He came and visited me and got me out.
You got out of jail. You came here. What does this mean to you?
Well, it means a lot. I was glad to get out and all that. Really what it means is I feel that I'm a point that proving that Lighthouse is doing something with the teens Fort Worthers. This really strikes me.
you think it can really do something for the teenager then?
Oh, no doubt. I mean, I see it all the time. Everywhere I go, we're always doing something. We're constantly on the move.
Marxist philosopher has advocated use of drugs and sexual perversions as a means of undermining the American society. But also, these things are being pushed by many individuals that just found that they like them, and so it's spreading more from natural causes than from the communist causes, but the communists started it.
What is the purpose of those on the left for pushing drugs?
Well, they really want to undermine the society and completely destroy it. And what the youth do not realize, the war is really against them. They are being destroyed. They are the cause and the effect and the victims.
How are we to stop the use of drug abuse in this country?
Well, we must reach people and let them understand the dangers. We must tell them the truth. We must get parents to do their part in leveling with youth. We must also provide real incentives, because the job of older people, such as you and me, we can do, and to help get them geared up to take a place in adult society, which the youth wants to do. But the drugs specifically chemically erase a drive to be productive.
Dr. Jones, just what is happening today in the American drug scene?
The American youth have been induced to experiment with drugs, and it's spreading at an enormous rate of 7% increase in their numbers per month. Most of these individuals will end up addicted to the more serious, harder drugs. Many of them will die. Most of them will be maimed and crippled, at least mentally and sexually.
Is there a leftist or communist conspiracy in the promotion of drug usage in this country?
Yes, there is.
Mr. Congressman, what about these 111 hearings in Washington?
Well, you can only call them hearings, I think, by the widest stretch of the imagination. You might call them inquisitions if you're talking about the McClellan committee
Yes, sir.
panel. Of course, the McClellan committee set out initially to discredit the aircraft, and they've had an awfully hard time doing it. They have spread misinformation rather than information, confusion rather than clarity. For example, they have the impression scattered abroad that the F-111 is a dangerous aircraft. The truth of it is that it is the safest aircraft, measured in the number of accidents per miles flown, of any aircraft that's been built since the mid-1950s.
What is this going to do now to help us alleviate the jail problem we have right now?
This report from Mr. Gaston does nothing to relieve the jail overcrowding. This is a matter which is within the responsibility and control of our Commissioner's Court. We have to deal with it on whatever basis we see fit. We'll have a meeting tomorrow, and I'm sure we will discuss the nature of this report. I have only today supplied this to the other members of the court. I wanted our committee to have its discussions before we did release it for general discussion.